The souvenir stand doing a brisk business here at the Canfield Fairgrounds in the Buckeye State. We're in Canfield, Ohio with trucks and tractor power. Round 2 matchups. We'll see Snakebite going against the Black Stallion, with the winner advancing on to the semifinal. Also in round 2, Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher will take on the Nightmare. And also in round 2 competition, we'll have King Crunch, Scott Stevens, against the brand new Chevrolet truck Taurus of Jack Willman Sr. All right, now we take a look at Snakebite with Colt Cobra out of Cobra Creek, Colorado. Man, that is a mouthful to say when you're introducing the driver and the truck they know as Snakebite. And here is a look at Mike Batters out of Hagerstown, Maryland, in the Black Stallion.
Talking about Colt Cobra, there's so many C's in his name, you just need to call that kid the CC Rider.
I'm just going to call him the Snake right now as they stage for round 2 competition.
New driver in the far lane, the Black Stallion. We don't know that much about him, but he's out here to play with these guys.
2 drivers we don't know much about.
Well, I do know one thing. The guy driving that truck. Oh, here we go again. Head straight for the TV crew. Left turn, Clyde. There you go. He pulls it back in. Something is making that truck, and it's not the driver steering it. It's a chassis reaction that actually shoves the truck over one direction or the other. Scott Stevens has the same problems. Notice the front wheels. They will basically be straight.
So you're saying something in weight transfer between the chassis and the suspension system is turning that truck to the right.
Exactly. It springs it one way or the other.
Well, at least he has some runoff space there. Did not get into trouble. As we take a look at a good Hoosier boy, Columbia City, Indiana, Steve Hess in Nightmare with an older variety of suspension. You talk about the new and the old. Here's a new suspension under Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. We talk about weight transfer and suspension and chassis. Let's talk about transferring some horsepower to the wheels.
Gary, as you know, horsepower, weight, and everything is very, very important. Numbers games, what I'm talking about here. Monster truck racing is no different. 2,000-pound tires, we talk about them all the time. The weight of the monster truck, 10 to 12,000 pounds. The horsepower of these monster trucks generate around 1,500 to 2,000 horsepower. But the big trick is, how do you get the horsepower to move all that weight? Well, the magic number there could very easily be the number 8. That number 8 we're talking about is located in the transmission. It's in the form of what we call a torque converter. An 8-inch torque converter transfers all the horsepower we were talking about to move these behemoth monster trucks. So basically what I'm telling you, Gary Lee, is if you don't have a good number 8 or torque converter, all the rest of the numbers we talk about are just zeros.
Well, since you know all about the mechanics, you can go ahead and work on my vehicles, and I'll just drive them as we get set for more competition here in round 2. The Carolina Crusher and Nightmare. Nightmare with a hole shot.
Yeah, he actually moved first, but Porter will pull him back in no man's land.
That 8-inch torque converter. He converted all that horsepower to the wheels, and he takes the victory here in Canfield. So the Carolina Crusher will advance.
It's really amazing that all that horsepower, 1,500 horsepower, will move 10 to 15,000 pounds, and it all does have to go through that 8-inch torque converter.
A lot of wear and tear on the drive line in these monster trucks, but right there you can see that horsepower going to work because Nightmare did have the hole shot, but the Carolina Crusher will transfer in competition. Oh, look at this. Looks like the remnants of a demolition derby. This is Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Crunch. That thing has been upside down more than it's been right side up. And it goes up against a brand new truck, Jack Willman Sr. out of Granite City, Illinois in the Chevy Taurus.
I'm anxious to see what kind of a mindset that Scott Stevens has right now. I'll be very honest, Gary. If I were in that truck, I'm not sure that I would push it very hard. We're going to find out what kind of a monster truck racer is. If he goes after Taurus, and he is, look at this, he's not afraid of him.
The Taurus has the advantage right there, and he takes it by about 2 truck lengths.
Yeah, but Scott was running him as hard as he could. I think Stevens, you know, the proverbial getting back up on the horse after it's thrown you, we may have just witnessed that right here, but Stevens and the crew, they'll get it all figured out, but they got another whole round not to worry about now. Taurus will be going to that next one.
But before he prepares the truck, let's talk to Jack Willman Sr.
Well, Jack, it sounds like the horsepower is back, but you say you have other problems?
Yeah, I got a little transmission problems, but we kind of got it, the housing's broke on it, and we got it held in there right now with some motorcycle straps, and I made it that round. If I'm lucky today, well, maybe to make it 2 more rounds.
Might be the old duct tape and baling wire. We'll be watching you.
Okay, thank you, homie.
Yeah, it's amazing what they use to hold these trucks together as they get through the competition. So once again, Snakebite and Carolina Crusher will go after each other. Then it's King Crunch, the fast loser, against Taurus, as they then will advance to the finals. And here is a look at Gary Porter out of Wadesboro, North Carolina. He has just a ton of horsepower, and he likes the longer, faster track.
Oh, he does. He likes to get out and leg the motor. You know, on the front of the Colt Cobra vehicle, Colt Cobra will tell you those are fangs. You know what Gary Porter just told me? That's a snaggle-tooth truck. That's not a fangs on the front of that.
All right, well, let's see what happens. They can talk all they want, but once that light turns green, they let their right foot do the talking.
That's right. Whoa. Cobra drilled the light. Porter's going to have to play catch-up.
Can he do it? Can he do it? No! The snake gets him.
Snaggle-tooth or not, he's going to the final.
Yeah. That is an upset.
Gee, it's almost like the snake has got a spell on these guys, Gary.
You know, I'm wondering, as we look at that slow motion replay at the start, I think that Gary Porter only has the rear wheels pushing that truck. He does not have four-wheel drive.
I didn't notice. That could very easily be the case, but no matter what, we know half the final is set. It's going to be the snake out of Colorado.
Well, the snake has been waiting for this for a long time. As we take a look at Gary Porter, he climbs out. Perhaps something wrong with the Carolina Crusher. Yeah, he's looking up in front. So there is a problem with the front drive on that pickup truck. And here is a battered truck at best. Scott Stevens out of Spring, Texas. And there is a Jack Willman Sr. out of Granite City, Illinois.
Scott and his crew have been walking around the pit area all day long whistling zippity-doo-dah. That's the kind of attitude you got to have when you're in this kind of shape. You got to believe in what you're doing. And he's picking up points. That is important. Hey, he's running hard
over the first set of cars, but Jack Willman will take the victory, and Jack will advance to the championship round here in Canfield, Ohio. He takes Taurus to the championship.
Taurus is going against the Snakebite, but Scott Stevens, it's been a major day of accomplishment for him. He and the Auto Value team have picked up a lot of points.
Well, that should make for a very interesting pairing for the championship. And Army, I'd like to hear from Colt Cobra, if you can catch up with him down there. As we take a look at Scott Stevens headed back to the tow rig, and he'll be headed back to Spring, Texas.
Well, Gary, here's a guy that did exactly what he said he's going to do all day long, Colt. Final time you're going to be there against Taurus.
Yeah, Army, you know, we've been working for this moment for a long time. You know, this is our third round out with this truck, and words escape me right now. You know, when we put this truck in the finals, we've been busting our tail end back there in the pits trying to come up with different combinations. We've been on the phone with a special friend of mine out in California. It helps me out a little bit on the motors, and it seems like that BDS motor that's helping me out here is putting me into the finals, and I'm real tickled to death. You know, I've been kind of holding back on that and letting everybody know that that is my secret weapon now, that the BDS motor is really putting me into the finals.
Well, you're there. We're going to be watching you.
All right, thanks a lot, Army.
And the snake will try to put the bite on Taurus. Taurus will try to defang the snake, and here is Jack Willman Sr.
Gary, we're standing with the other half of the final, and you're sitting strong in this thing, Jack. A 540 is where we get. You're kind of saying we got problems, but that doesn't show it with a 540.
No, it sure doesn't, Army. And I'm happy with that. You know, that's the best time I turned today, and that's about what I've been running through the weekend. So if I can get my transmission to hold up for one more time, but she just keeps it sagging a little bit more. But one more time, maybe we can get in that winner's circle.
Let's see if he can do it from Canfield.